Gardening is more popular than ever, and we certainly love our garden here at the 3TV Studios back lot. I recently had the chance to go to Des Moines, Iowa, which is home to our parent company, the Meredith Corporation, which, by the way, also owns Better Homes and Gardens magazine. And, you know, really, this has been the go-to source for gardeners for the last 100 years or so. This morning, we give you a rare behind-the-scenes look of the magazine's test garden. Nestled in the heart of a bustling downtown Des Moines, Iowa, is a quiet sanctuary, an urban oasis of meticulously managed plants and flowers. And while it may look like some other big city botanical gardens, this garden is unlike any you've ever seen. Established next door to the Meredith corporate headquarters, the Better Homes and Gardens test garden is the size of half a city block. And yet, that doesn't seem hardly enough room to contain all the things that are springing to life out of the ground here. This space is alive with a canvas of color, all nestled around the soothing sounds of this lovely fountain. Winding walkways meander from the center courtyard and out through the space that's in bloom all summer long. While it looks like the perfect place to relax, there's actually a lot of important work going on here.
The mission is to take all the plants that a person could grow at home, or many of the plant varieties a person could grow at home, and try to replicate the conditions around the country and for our readers in a normal domestic setting. It's almost like an encyclopedia, a living encyclopedia for gardening that we're trying to do here.
And that's what makes this garden so unique. Among the lush landscapes, you're sure to see plants that you may recognize. Some you may even have in your own garden at home, but others you won't find anywhere but here.
And it is a beautiful place that people can visit, but it really is a testing garden and it's an editorial garden. Sandra, our head gardener, gets all the different plant introductions from the giant plant companies. They send them to her so that she can test them. So whatever the new, shrubs or perennials are, she gets them every season and she gets to decide what she wants to pick and choose and evaluate.
The garden is a huge living outdoor photo studio. The plants may serve as the focal point or the background for the cover shot or photo layouts in Better Homes and Gardens or any number of Meredith's most popular magazines and digital platforms. There are 22 distinct planting areas. There's a rose garden, a southwest terrace garden, plants for shady places or ponds or decks, a vegetable and herb garden, a special area set aside for shrubs and bushes. It goes on and on and on. Every square inch of this garden is dedicated to about any situation you could possibly imagine, all artistically arranged in this one space. But don't be green with envy. The test garden is designed to inspire, not intimidate.
We try to create the scale not to look like a municipal park or a botanical garden. We want the scale to mimic the domestic setting of someone's home. So we don't want it to be intimidating. And in fact, Better Homes and Gardens, we don't want anything to be intimidating. We're trying to help people do everything a little better in their lives, around their home and their domestic life. So for us, gardening should be something that isn't scary.
Even though it's a working garden, during the summer the gardens are also open to the public for a couple of hours, Friday afternoons. It's popular for both locals and tourists.
People plan a year in advance to visit the garden, so we have different garden groups that will come and they'll book a private tour. Different garden groups and garden clubs from around the country will come, and they're just very impressed because we're in downtown Des Moines where we have a beautiful park, as I was saying, but before that was here, this was a very mixed-use area of gas stations and vacant lots. So what the test garden has done is really transformed a kind of a disused part of Des Moines 20 years ago and turned it into a real jewel in the crown for Meredith and Better Homes and Gardens.
The test garden is so beautiful, and this year it celebrates its 20th anniversary at that location. Now, tomorrow morning we're going to take you into the test kitchen. The Better Homes and Gardens test kitchen checks out some 2,500 recipes every single year. So we'll take a look at what's cooking.